Friends, you've heard me talk about my mental health story, and I'll continue to do so. But from time to time, I like to open up this space to others who want to share their journey. Perhaps it's a personal story. Maybe it's a healing tool and technique. The point is, I want to keep talking and having an open dialogue so we can end the silence around mental health. Thank you for listening. Okay, welcome friends to the show. I'm very excited to have two wonderful, amazing guests. They are the co-owners and founders of GTFO, Get the Fuck Outside Company. You've heard me talk about them. You've heard me share and do the giveaways that I've got coming on to at the end of this month for February. And I'm so privileged to have them here on the show, not only talking about the company, but a bit of their personal journey and how they got to get into GTFO, Get the Fuck Outside Company. So thank you, Melissa and Curtis Swain. Really appreciate you coming on to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. How's your family day weekend so far?
Oh, it's pretty good. Nice balance of relaxation and some work around the house, some projects that we've been trying to do. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's pretty hectic most of the time. So when we get weather like this, then we get an opportunity to have more downtime and catch up on stuff around the house.
Yeah, that's awesome. And especially with the blizzard we've got coming on right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's snowing hard here right now.
Yeah, it really is here too. We're packing it on. This is our 14th winter this season. So we're making do. Yeah. So for the two of you, like I've seen on this website, which I'm going to be sharing in the show notes, my friends. So you're going to hear me keep talking about GTFO. And let's just kind of get into the general, like, what happened for you to create this company together?
Do you want to go?
Go ahead.
Well, I guess just to start, I think we've always been kind of looking for a business to start together. Curtis is a natural entrepreneur. He's always thinking of the next thing. And so we, just always thinking, trying to figure something out. And then the thought of clothing line with GTFO popped up, would you say?
Yep.
And Curtis definitely was drawn to it immediately, more just like the boldness of the saying and everything, and to try to make like a new clothing line out of it. And then my, I guess, input was just to kind of have a purpose behind it, to, I guess, make it more passionate for me. And so we, at the same time that we were coming up with that, we were doing research on the benefits of getting outside, as someone close to us was going through some struggles with like anxiety and some mild depression. And we started noticing that getting outside would make a huge difference for her day. If she could just get out first thing in the morning and go for a walk or go golfing or do something, it just set up her day completely differently. So we're like, maybe this could be an important like meaning to the slogan, to the like boldness of our GTFO. So we just started kind of looking into that and thought that was something we should run with.
Yeah, and
Because it is go ahead. Sorry.
So just to add to that as well, so we started it in kind of January of 2020, and which everybody knows going into March is when a lot of lockdowns came for us in Canada, and Melissa and I kind of looked at that and thought all of these were going to create a lot more mental health issues for people for various reasons and ages. So we thought, wow, we really need to kick this into high gear here. And that's when we got after it and really started pushing that message.
Right. And it's not just the push the message of end the silence. It was actually like to get the F outside, because that's a really bold little statement right there. Why choose that? Why choose that language?
Well, for that reason, it turns a lot of heads. Whether it's it's I'd say 90-ish% of the time it's very positive conversations with people around it. So yeah, that's what we just figured people needed a kick in the ass, rather than kind of moping around or whatever. We just wanted it to be blunt and kind of in your face to get out there.
Yeah, and I mean, we like, that if we just called it "get outside," people would not stop in their tracks and take a second look at our sign, or or at
Yeah.
that person's logo on their shirt or something. It just wouldn't make the same kind of impact. And I mean, as much as we switch it to get the fun outside, get the friends outside, and that's a good alternative, but it still doesn't like grab you like our original saying. And so I mean, not everybody is like into it, but everybody likes the message. Even if you don't swear, people still like the attention that we're
Yeah,
getting from it.
it really packs a punch, right?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah,
One of
it's a gut
our
punch.
we had a message from a client that had bought the Be Bold T-shirt, so the Get the Fuck Outside T-shirt, where it's just like right there, and she was suffering from depression and had to, every morning she'd get her kids off to school and then go back and just lay down in bed, and this continued for days. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, one day she had jumped back in bed and was just laying there, and then happened to turn and look over, and at that time we had this black T-shirt with the big white letters saying "Get the fuck outside," and she looked over and seen that and thought, "I need to get outside." She said she jumped up, pulled that shirt off the floor, threw it on, and went for like a 2-hour walk with her dogs by the river, and then all of a sudden just set that routine after that and continued to do it. So just that in itself, just talking about it right now, it gives us shivers that we've helped somebody else by doing that.
Yeah, and that's amazing, right? Like that right there is a story that just helps inspire. For me, for someone who struggles with chronic fatigue and depression and trauma and all that kind of stuff, it can be a real downer, lack of motivation to even just get outside. So, and for people who are listening, it doesn't mean that you've got to climb Everest, and do these massive trails, which is amazing, but it can literally just be stepping outside. Just get out on your deck, right? Get some sun, get some vitamin D, let's get those serotonins going and the dopamines, all that kind of good juju,
Yeah.
So from what I'm hearing so far, it sounds like that you've been hearing stories and witnessing some of your friends really struggle with mental health. Did that impact you personally as well? Like, was it affecting your mental health, witnessing your friends and family go through something?
Yeah, I mean, it was extremely stressful. You just feel kind of helpless. Like you want to help them, but they got to help themselves. But like, how could we help them to help, themselves? Like it kind of weighs on you because, I mean, you see stories that don't end well for people going through struggles. And I mean, you don't want to ever have to go through that, obviously. So it's almost a panic feeling of, like needing to fix it or help it, or, what you say?
Yeah. And sadly, the majority of us know someone who's taken their own life. And that affects us. So that's what gives us more of a, push to continue to do what we do and to create the movement to end the silence around mental health.
And so then where did you end up getting that, hashtag end the silence?
Um, you know, I think So I can't really think back to that exact moment, but a lot of it I feel did come from personal experience and not wanting, like, you could be in a tight knit family and somebody could be struggling, but nobody will talk about it. You know,
Yeah.
not only, because for some people, it becomes uncomfortable and they just don't want to be in that position or conversation at that time because it is difficult to be vulnerable. And we really wanted to push people to be vulnerable, that when, listen to your friends, your family, even people that maybe aren't your friends, and you see something that's going on with them, reach out and ask them to help. And we thought if we could end the silence, and show people to be vulnerable, then maybe more people will open up and speak out. Because it really is just, we just need to talk and
And to keep talking, right?
exactly.
It's like it's more than one conversation, right? I was
Yeah.
talking about this with some friends just the other day, and it's not just one conversation; it's continual conversations, because it's so layered, and there's so much depth to mental health, and certainly building a safety network around you and a team of support, which is absolutely, I find, crucial and valuable. And your company has done that, like, because you reach out and ask people to be ambassadors for GTFO, right? And I think you're pushing how many, 900 ambassadors around the globe? Are we getting around there?
Well, we're over 3,000 now.
Oh, it wasn't even close. I'm so sorry.
No, that's fun. I mean, I think we were 900 a year ago, and then all of a sudden it just kind of really took off. So yeah, we're over 3,000 across Canada and the United States, and then a few outside of that.
Yeah, and in the beginning, we were really being a lot more picky on who we were bringing in as ambassadors. Like, we really wanted to make sure, we didn't have too many in one area, and just trying to spread them out and everything. But we started getting so many people asking and wanting to become ambassadors, and so we kind of got to a point where, like, how could we say no to them, like, as long as, like, we obviously check their social media and make sure that their, like, mission and their values align with ours, but we could never just say no to someone just because there's already too many in that area of the city or that community, because it's like, how can you push someone away that obviously wants to be
Wants to help.
a part of the
Yeah.
movement and help to do this, and or maybe they're just need the help themselves and feel this could be kind of a community that they can feel safe. So we definitely put our changed our structure of how we thought our ambassador program was going to be to what just I guess we just listened to what was maybe more needed, or what we let it guide us, I guess, a little more.
Right. Like, you're just growing with it as it's happening.
Yeah.
And it's growing organically. And the truth, like you were just talking about earlier, is that you don't know who's suffering in silence, right? Just by looking at their social media, you may think, oh, well, maybe they're not, they're not very active, or, they're whatever it is that they're doing in their life, but they could be internally struggling and just going, oh my gosh, like, look at this company. Not only can I order clothing, but that portion of that does go to mental health organizations and, and companies, and the Grizzly Foundation, which you guys proudly sponsor and donate to. Right. So
Yeah.
just this expansion of and not just ambassadors, they're people. They're people that are resonating with your mission statement, which is getting outside, getting the family outside, the fun, the friends outside, have the fun outside, everything like that. So it's beautiful that it continues to expand and grow, and it seems quite naturally and organically. So you must feel very proud of that. Like, is it shifting even more for you now that you know that you're getting more and more people getting involved?
Yeah, we have our days. I would think. I mean, we're, it's a struggle sometimes just to keep it, keep everything going, and we you end up wanting to do more and more and more, and it gets very difficult at times. Yeah,
And having to say no, right? Like, I mean,
yeah,
because it's also your mental health and your
exactly.
emotional, spiritual health as well, right? Like, there's only so much you can do. You put the mask on first, and then you help put the mask on, the next person.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So what has it been meaning to you now that it's been 2, 3 years, like you said, you're kind of taking time, you're trying to find some balance, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. I think that's an ongoing struggle, probably, that we're still working on. Yeah, still trying to figure it out. It definitely, getting the store, I guess, helped in ways, but then
Yeah, it helped, but
maybe
it didn't.
it helped, but it didn't, because we were able to get it all out of our house, because we had our garage set up as it, and it felt like work never ended, right? Like, you're just everywhere you turn, there's work. Or if you got an email with a question about something or an order, you just felt like you needed to drop what you're doing and go out there and
Mm,
do it. Whereas now it's like, once we leave the store, everything can wait till tomorrow. Kind of. I mean, we still have our laptops and our phones with the emails popping up, but to a certain extent, it did kind of help for, like, us to sort of give ourselves that break. I think also with Curtis, like, he works full time, and when he gets home, he's kind of drained from that. And so, as much as I'm like itching to, like, ask him all the questions that I couldn't, like, run past him during the day, he's just kind of
right.
mentally done. So that forces me to just, like, leave it or try to make the decisions myself during kind of the working hours instead of, yeah, into the evening. So it has helped in that. But yeah, the store obviously adds more at the same
Yeah, like
time too.
it's become a financial burden as well, because
Mm,
we're just in that, you know, we started up the store last June,
Yeah,
something
May.
like that. We had our grand opening July 9th, which was great. But there's costs involved to that. So yeah, we're just hoping that, things will pick up a little bit more, but you get the stress, the anxiety, it just gets larger from,
More overhead. Yeah.
yeah, just from having that. Right. And there's times where
yeah.
it's, we think, well, is this, is it too much stress and anxiety for us? And should we go back to a smaller, not a storefront or something like that? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But still keeping with GTFO, right? Like, this is still something that you would like to continue to pursue, whether you have a physical store or an online store.
Yeah, we definitely need to keep it going because the movement is just, it keeps growing and growing and growing, and yeah, this we wouldn't be able to stop doing what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah, and because it feels like there's also just such a need for it, right? Because I feel like, mental health is like this other pandemic that we've got going on right now. And it just, one thing that I say is that mental health does not discriminate. It will target anyone, anywhere, anytime, any age, any culture, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So having this movement, this simple movement of getting outside, could really help move someone in a more positive and enlightened direction. Absolutely. So, talk about the organizations that you donate to, why these organizations and the Grizzly Foundation. Like, I do, like, yes, I see it on your website and in your mission statement, but for some, who are listening to this, they want to know more, which I'll put into the show links, my friends. So,
Yeah, for sure. So right now, kind of the one that we've been doing the most for around the Calgary area is Distress Center. They're a 24-hour crisis call line. They offer up free counseling services and that kind of stuff for people in need of that. So that's been a big one for us the last while. And then there's the general Canadian Mental Health Association and some in Vancouver and stuff. But the distress center has been the most important one to us the last little while.
Yeah, and we kind of stopped doing quite so many just like monetary donations to places like that or around there, because we started getting so many emails from a lot of ambassadors and other people that are doing something to raise money for something in their area, so then we want to be able to give to them. So now that we're getting like a lot of emails for that, we've kind of had to stop just randomly donating to places, and then we'll just kind of fund these people. Like our one ambassador in Newfoundland, she did a polar bear dip, and it was to raise money for the Canada Mental Health. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, the Newfoundland division. So we donated to that, and then another ambassador, they were doing a naked
Yeah.
bungee jump, and it was to raise money for mental health. So we give to that, or just different like
Right.
tournaments, or
Yeah, golf tournaments.
or gala fundraiser galas. People reach out. So now, which I kind of like it better, because now we're kind of giving back to the ambassadors that kind of not help us, but we're
Right.
working towards. We can kind of show it in that way also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's reciprocal, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's totally reciprocal. And once again, all it's doing is spreading the message,
Yeah.
of the importance of mental health and ending the silence around it.
Right.
So, like, amazing, amazing work. And
Yeah,
also, sorry, go ahead, Curtis.
Sorry. I was just going to say, and that was our goal, was to not always, it wouldn't be local. We wanted to spread it around. And the one other one that I just want to make a note for that is important to us is we do a lot of stuff with veterans and that are suffering from PTSD. So that's a big one for us.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. So for what you're doing, I think is absolutely amazing. And so talk about the Grizzly Foundation. I see that you have a fear of bears, but yet it's also part of your logo,
Yeah.
and you're donating to them. So just express more on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like that. It's helped me to not quite have that fear as much anymore. I did, obviously, I've had a love-hate relationship with grizzly bears.
Have you had an experience with them?
Not with grizzlies, but with a lot of black bears, that kind of thing. And it just, I don't know, my whole life, even just as a child, I just always had nightmares and stuff with bears and right up and until we started doing a lot of this and yeah, for that that whole struggle, I had a hard time going into the wilderness. I definitely would have never stayed or slept overnight in the backcountry. And Melissa and I did our first, overnight. We did a hike into Pickle Jar and stayed overnight there with a few other ambassadors as well. So we overcame a big fear there. And you know what? When we started doing this, we just really wanted to, so we picked mental health. I mean, that was a main focus for us. And then we just wanted to do a couple other things as well, because we're not in this to get rich, make $1 million
nice.
kind of thing. Like it's, yeah. But the main goal, is to give back. And so the Grizzly Foundation was the one thing that we had picked and incorporated it into our logo. And yeah, the Grizzly Foundation, it seemed to fit with us. They do a lot of stuff there. And then we've also we've donated to Exposed WC, Wildlife Conservation, which They're a nonprofit, and then they do a lot of things with wildlife, with cougars and that kind of stuff. So it was a good fit for us.
That's amazing because I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. I mean, nature is so therapeutic. It's just a natural, economic antidepressant, right? It's so powerful, and yet, not everyone can always get into the backcountry and stuff like that, but maybe even just a local park, and doing that. And so, has your fear kind of abated a little bit?
Yeah, it has. It has definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I've had like maybe one dream in the last 3 years.
Okay. So it's been therapy for you. Honestly, it's been therapy for you.
It has for sure. And the amount of hikes that we've done, it hasn't been a problem for me. And, you mentioned it, it doesn't have to be in the backcountry. You don't have to hike all these big, beautiful mountains and it is just getting out anywhere you can. That's why, we always share in our posts that, just 15 minutes a day kind of thing, get out. Like you said, if it's out having coffee on your deck or, take off your shoes and go step out on the grass, just enjoy the feeling of that or go for a walk in a local park. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't, just make sure to put your phone down and keep it in your pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just had a thought and I can't remember what it was. There it went. Okay, doesn't matter. I hate it when that happens. So I felt like it was, because I was, there it is. Okay, so back to the bears, because like you are not the only one who has a fear of bears. Just to let you know, I think a lot of people have a fear of bears, but quite interesting that you had nightmares about that. So really, like amazing on you to go out and do it and take that challenge, to reduce that fear. Like that is just awesome. I know for me, I would not go backcountry. That's just not my jam. Like I already have serious sleep issues, so I'd be like, I don't even know if I want to do it in a tent. And I love camping. I love being out there, but I'm like, I need something a little bit sturdier. I'm like, I can't. So my partner and I were trying to figure out how are we going to do it this summer because we really want to be out there, right? There's
Yeah.
just I think with the world in the chaos that it's in right now and just the heavy energy in the world, it's like we need to be out in nature. We just absolutely need it, right? Movement is medicine, nature is medicine, and we just try to do the best we can with what we've got. So, here's another thing too, because on your Instagram account, the GTFO outside Instagram account, friends, if you want to follow, it'd be in the show links. You send out so many beautiful photos that people are taking by getting outside. And I find even just looking at the photos, it gives me a deeper breath. Even just looking at photos and just like imagining what that would smell like, imagining just being there, So if you want to follow this company on Instagram, please do. They've got not only just wonderful gear, but the photos that everyone is taking and that ambassadors are taking and just sharing, right? It's all about sharing, which is what I call share the magic. That's why I'm doing the giveaway, because I want to just share and gift back, to people so that we can have the opportunity to get outside, right? Because of the benefits. So as we're kind of wrapping up here, where do you see this company maybe in 5-10 years? And what would you like to do with that? Where would you like to grow with that?
Well, we are starting to get into doing a little bit more to help people. So, getting outside is number one and key. But we find you got to do a little bit more, than that, obviously. But it's to us the most important thing to start. So we've I went through a course. I did a course with a lady, Jordan Cassandra, and it's a 10-week course that helped change a lot of things for me. And mainly, it helped tame my anxiety a fair amount. So with working with her, we've now started to offer up this 10-week program to anybody else that wants to take part in it. So we have one running right now. And yeah, it's just been, I've been talking to a couple of them, and it's amazing to just hear what they have to say about it. So, really, I think we're going to eventually get into a point where we, maybe start hosting, weekend events, that kind of thing, get people together, do these courses, get to meet each other, maybe go for a stroll, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Amazing. That is just amazing. Yes, I do remember seeing that on the Facebook page as well. And it sounds like it's really, the momentum is really moving forward, right? Because I do feel like there's such a need for that. I have a family member who right now has been waiting nearly 7 months to get into this mental health program that they'll be in for like 2 months. And the wait list is so long that it almost becomes detrimental to mental health. I've got other friends who have their children are really challenged, and the system is so backed up that they cannot receive the health and help that they are getting, and it's creating a detrimental home situation right now. So there is such a need, which is so amazing of what you two do together. And, I'm just hoping to bring more awareness to it. Let's end the silence around mental health. So friends, if you were listening to this podcast, there is that code again, end the silence. And you can enter into my Instagram account, the pinned post up there. Just enter in. And so I just wanted to say for you friends, if you want to find out more about GTFO, here is their website, gtf-outside.com. They have all their About Us information. They've got beautiful, affordable, and the apparel, I know it's the apparel, but it's functional. That's the word I'm looking for. For getting outside, you can sign up, get 10% off. If you want to use Ursula 10, get 10% off. Look at this gear. It's all going towards mental health organizations and the Grizzly Foundation. This is amazing. Then follow them on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to be doing more giveaways in the future. I mean, I've got a service dog in training right now, so I'm going to be coming into the store. I want to come into the store and get some more bandanas and do it that way. We all have dogs. Dogs are therapy too, right? So, and friends, they also have, a program that you can do it in payments. If you love this t-shirt, you can do it in easy installments to make it more affordable and economical for you. So thank you, Melissa and Curtis, for being on the show, for starting something that I personally am very proud to be a part of, because I've been asked to be an ambassador for things before, and no, it doesn't align with me. So when I was introduced to GTFO, it was through my partner. We saw you at an outdoor event. There was a booth there. And I was like, I have to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. So I asked to join, which just means so much to me. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your encouragement, your donations to mental health, and by continuing to end the silence around it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode. If you require more support and information on depression, please contact your local healthcare provider, distress center, or in Canada, go to canada.ca and search mental health support, get help.